For decades, Europe and the United States have been the closest allies. From NATO to trade agreements, their partnership has shaped global politics. But recently, cracks have started to appear. Is Europe moving away from the US? The world is changing, and so are global alliances. While the US has traditionally been Europe's strongest partner, differences in foreign policy, trade, and defense are growing. The Trump administration's America First policy strained transatlantic ties. The Biden administration tried to rebuild trust, but some European leaders believe that the U.S. is becoming less reliable. Europe is slowly trying to stand on its own. The European Union is investing more in its own military, reducing reliance on NATO, which has long been dominated by the U.S. In trade, Europe is also looking beyond the U.S. China has become the EU's biggest trading partner, and economic ties with Russia, despite political tensions, have not disappeared completely. One of the biggest shifts is in energy. The war in Ukraine forced Europe to rethink its energy dependence on Russia and the U.S. Now the EU is focusing on renewable energy and sourcing oil and gas from multiple suppliers. Meanwhile, on foreign policy, Europe is not always aligned with U.S. interests. From dealing with China to handling the Israel-Palestine conflict, the EU often takes a more independent approach. So is Europe really moving away from the U.S.? The answer isn't simple. While Europe still values its alliance with America, it is becoming more independent in its economic, military, and geopolitical strategies. The future of U.S.-Europe relations depends on how both sides adapt to a rapidly changing world. Will they remain close allies or drift further apart? What do you think? Is Europe becoming more independent from the U.S.? Let us know in the comments below.